Hi folks, welcome back to another episode of Thames FC. I'm on an emotional high right now. There was no Thames episode yesterday if you're watching in real time. I'm pleased now because the England game seemed to last for 4 hours, and I'm not sure you'd have been bothered about Thames. I mean, I'll be honest, yesterday, as much as I absolutely adore this, I wasn't that bothered about Thames. I was just a nervous wreck for most of it. It's coming home. It's coming. I'm so excited. Welcome back, though. Since we last met in the 1-0 defeat, 2-0 defeat to Manchester United, it's been a rocky road for Thames. 3 wins, 2 defeats, and a draw in there. We followed up the Manchester United game with a 1-1 against QPR. Tyler Davis on the score sheet. It was then 2 back-to-back wins, Crystal Palace and Wigan. Crystal Palace result, really, really good. A game which we struggled in with 2-0 down, and then we turned it all the way around. Lots of possession in the game and got our goals as well. George and Davis, a partnership at the moment. We'll talk about Altidal in a minute and as to why he's not in the team. Then a defeat to Norwich 2-0. They were obviously in Europe last year. They're a pretty good team. I think they may even be top of the table. I mean, we'll check the table in a minute. Then a 4-3 defeat to Sheffield United, which was a fascinating game. 3 goals from Tom George, a hat-trick in the space of 6 minutes. We went 3-0 down in the game and then eventually started to turn it back a little bit. And that was after we got a red card to left-back Brian Parkin. They got a goal. And Owusu, named player, got a goal against us, and we couldn't pull it back around. I thought we would, but we couldn't do it in the end. And then finally, a 5-0 win against Birmingham, in which after 7 minutes, they scored 2 own goals. So shout out to Birmingham for helping me out. After 7 minutes, we hadn't had a shot in the game, yet we were 2-0 up, and I enjoyed that a lot. Now that brings us today, Rotherham and Brentford to come. 2 sides that I think, if you look at the Championship table, they are sides we most certainly can beat. Rotherham down in 19th, Brentford in 20th. You would hope so, right? And the big news in terms of goal scoring is that Tom George with 20 now has overtaken Severe Altidal, who, since we last met, has had a cap for Norway. It might have actually been last episode, but I forgot to mention it. 1 cap for Norway. He's finally international calibre at long last. 6'2" of might. 18 goals so far this season for me, which is as many as last season, and in so little games. And I'm pleased for him. Hopefully he comes back soon. He did pick up another injury though, hence he's not featuring. Again, another calf strain. Hopefully next episode you'll get to see him. It's been a while, but we need him back. Those people clutching their Altidal Thames shirts are thinking, come on, get back here. So we've played 21 games. It seems like Leeds have played quite a few more than us actually, so we've got a few games in hand on them, and they're the team that currently occupy the 6th position in the playoffs. And right then, let's get into today's games. Rotherham and Brentford, you can see them down the bottom there. It's almost like I'd like to score goals in videos. I've messed it up. Team-wise for this game then, Reed will be in goal, Morris, Edmund, Holmes and Kasongo will be in at left-back as we've got suspensions and injuries to Parkin. Alex Miller is going to have to sit out this game because we can only have 5 lone players. He has to be nowhere near the team, which is a bit of a shame. Smith will play as the deep line playmaker just in front of that back 4. Street and McDonnell to play just ahead of him. Cummings in the advanced playmaker role. It's interesting with him though. I'm tempted to play him in a more supportive role, even as an attacking midfielder on support. He just prefers it. I might try something different just for this episode. We'll play him as an advanced midfielder or attacking midfielder today, with Davis and George up ahead of him. Cummings' role might change a little bit. He's a funny player, Ryan Cummings. I want more out of him. 8 assists so far this season. I want more goals, and so far we've not been getting goals. Control flexible though, we'll play this possession-based style, and so far this season it's going okay. 8th position. Again, we were newly promoted 2 seasons ago. It's now a case of, can we try and stay competitive and try and push for those playoffs, trying to ride the momentum of the past few years. That's the plan. Okay, they're playing a 4-3-3. They've got a Kane up front, so automatically I want them to do well, which is annoying. But no, Rotherham not had a great start to their season, so I expect them to win 2-0 comfortably and for us to not have any chances. So look forward to that, viewers. I'm going to tell the boys there's no pressure on them tonight. Assertively say, there's no pressure. Just get out there, play your own game, and the result will come. Here we go then. Rotherham in the red, we're in the blue and white. Of course we are, and the first action of the game is nothing. You can see there though, Norwich top of the table, Hull, Swansea, Newcastle, Palace and Leeds and Bournemouth. All the sides there in the top 10 have, in recent memory, apart from maybe Leeds, been in the Premier League. So that's in real life, I realise. We're now a long time in the future, as McDonald's got a free kick there. We don't score direct free kicks ever, so I don't know why I got excited. I thought that was maybe the time. That was the one. We've been a bit indifferent with the form though. You saw 2 wins, 2 defeats, a draw in there. Last episode we had 2 defeats as well. We've not been consistent this season, but we are picking up results here and there, which is important. It just strikes me again as the sort of season which is more likely to be maybe a 7th to 11th position rather than a 3rd to 6th position, as Kane scores, and I almost cheered. It's becoming a reflex. Gordon Kane, though, scores for Rotherham. I mean, we're away from home, but that shouldn't really matter. Let's take a look at this again. Reed fires it forward, and, well, not where I really want it to go, if I'm being honest. Kane, it's launched straight back over the top and Kane scores. It's disappointing. Just thinking that I had distribution for goalkeepers different when I had different goalkeepers. Maybe it's reset for Rees. Right, I'm just going to have a quick look at that, actually. Edit player instructions. They've all... Actually, what have they all gone? I'm going to try and get it out to the fullbacks more, if possible, with fewer risky passes. And... yeah, not great from us. I don't want us to just launch it upfield, especially when we haven't got Altidal. I know we've got a target man, but it's a bit more risky to do that. Whereas if we can keep the ball, work it through our midfield, which are very capable, that to me makes more sense. It's a sort of situation where I wouldn't say it's fine to lose one of these games, but I definitely can't lose both. So regardless of what happens today, we need to try and get 3 points from the 2 games as McDonnell. I mean, really, you want to win both. They're not as good as us. Morris, though, ball played in. George is there. Tom George. Yes, my boy. That's what we're looking for. 57 minutes gone, and Tom George gets himself on the score sheet. 21 for the season. Oh, it's been given as an own goal. Oh, no, that was a different game. What am I talking about? I've literally watched it, and I was like, Tom Morris has scored an own goal? Who is this Tom Morris? Tom George scores, in fact. Kane Morris puts it in. Confusion everywhere, and George scores. Lovely. It was like Kane Morris and Tom George were just combining to score an own goal for a different team. All right, well, just had the kickoff, and it's a highlight straight after the goal. And this usually results in a big chance for someone. Not necessarily that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be me, but we want it back in that area, which I love winning the ball back down those sides of the pitch. As Pat Street did really well to keep that, and that's run away from us a little bit, and now it could be dangerous. Kane is in on goal again, and mixed feelings are coming upon me. Reed with a good save though, and it remains at 1-1. Davis is having a pretty poor game. Is there a temptation to bring the beard on and move Tom George over to the other side a little bit and create ourselves a little bit more width? 15 minutes to go. I think because he's having such a poor game, we've got a striking situation with Altidal injured. Davis obviously would be the player ordinarily to be on the bench because we've got so many lone players and we've got to play Kasongo. We're short on strikers on the bench all of a sudden, which is not ideal. And maybe we'll bring in a free transfer striker, if possible, as soon as possible, especially when I keep getting these injuries to Altidal. All right, change the system. George has moved over to the right-hand side of the striking partnership, and Beard's come out on this left-hand side now as Rotherham make it way down their left-hand side. There's 3 players in the middle. We're not really marking them. It's gone back out to Gray, fired back in, and scores a goal. We seemingly had loads of players in the box and didn't mark 3 of them, or 2 of them. Annoying. We've had loads of possession as well. Gray races down that side. Our fullbacks again get a little exposed. Connolly, and then we just sort of freeze at this point here. You can see at the back post they've got one spare man, and as it goes to the back post, actually it's a man that's sort of been marked. Kasongo doesn't jump and Connolly heads in. There's not a great deal of time left either, so we're going to go attacking. It might be too little too late. I hate the fact I've made a change and then conceded straight away. That just makes me very angry. And it looks as if Rotherham, of all sides, blimey, are going to get the best of us. There's actually only a 5-point gap between us, so maybe the distance between us isn't actually as bad as I first feared, but we've now made it a 5-point gap when we could have made it an 11-point gap. I think that's the frustration. As, I'm going to get angry, I think. Far from pleased with what I've just seen. They look fired up, and they're going to have to be, because Brentford to come, a game that we have to win. We're going to have to rest the boys as well. Not long between games here. I hate making a change, and it immediately affects the outcome. It seems to happen a lot. I did debate putting Steve Foster in, dropping Pat Street to the reserves, and having Alex Miller in the squad, but I don't know, I just think Pat Street's just better in the centre than a lot of other midfielders. Okay, then team-wise, I think we're going to try and force it a little bit and get Alex Miller onto the bench. I think we just need to have ourselves another outlet if it's relied upon. The question is, though, how do you switch someone out? I guess you end up having to drop Pat Street, which I really don't want to do. Oh, it's a situation. What do you do here? I just limit my options. I mean, Steve Foster can obviously come in and we can play McDonnell and Altidal. He's on the mind. We can play McDonnell and Foster in the centre, and it's something we've done lots of times before. That does then mean we have to drop Pat Street, put maybe Scott Burgess or Dazelle on the bench. I guess Dazelle on this occasion. It's a bit of a gamble to change it round, but I want the option of Alex Miller. In fact, I'm going to start Alex Miller. He needs to get a goal. He's goalless for me so far this year. I've gone big, and we could have gone home. I mean, I think that's what you call an impulsive decision right at the end. They've got a player called Gamble, Rogers, Graham. I mean, so many links. They've even got a Thomas playing on the right-hand side. Oh, God. Okay. I mean, the team is pretty much the same, apart from those subtle changes in the middle and Alex Miller coming in for Davis, who does go onto the bench. So at least we've got options there now as well. And they've got players like Monks, who are starting this game with next to no fitness, which is quite curious, as it's fired towards Edmund. There's a temptation here early on to go attacking from the off, but I don't let's say a temptation. We'll leave it at that for now. As we need to get Miller a goal. That's the objective of this game right now. We need to get him a goal. This could be his chance. Miller, Green with a save. 12 games he's played for me, the majority of which is a substitute. But he's not come on and made an impact in those games. He's not scored a goal yet for me. He needs one today. I'll take a 3-1 defeat if Miller scores. That's not true. Ball played in. Clear that. Are you taking that? I don't even know how that's happened. 66% possession. It's all well and good having that, but you've got to do something with it. So we're going to start attacking them. And as soon as I switch to that, I don't know, game. I don't know what you want from me. It might just be pure coincidence and about the way I'm set up and whatnot, but Rodgers plays it into Graham, and that in another lifetime, that could have been a crime-fighting duo up top. I feel like the game hates me today. I feel like the game just doesn't like me. George out on that side, though. Ball into the middle. Miller's there. What was I just saying? What words were just coming out of my mouth? Changing both fullbacks to support duties, and I'm making Smith a more of a ball winner in the centre, even in fact an anchor man, because I want him to sit in a little more. I want our midfielders, our fullbacks, to push on a little more as well to provide that width. Because right now, it's not really happening. We've got a corner though. McDonald's put it in. Cleared. Cummings got to get there. If you can put it back out wide, that's probably preferred. But he goes into Smith. I was just changing little things to try and change our shape a little more and trying to get the fullbacks potentially more involved. As Morris goes forward with it, Foster, Miller with a chance. Miller with a chance. I mean, talk about confidence. He's got none, has he? I mean, we've looked good in the game. We've had some massive chances. Their fitness compared to ours, we rested the boys. Their fitness compared to ours is a shambles. Ryan Cummings is quite isolated as well. In this attacking midfield role, there's not really another option for him, so he has to play. And if he's not getting goals for me, we're really only relying on Tom George in a game like this, and that's just never ideal. I'm going to say, we're not doing badly at all. Work hard, and a goal will come from this. And what do you do with Cummings? I feel like I partly want to put him a little deeper and have him work a little deeper, have Foster one side. We're going to try this for, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes. He's not scoring goals. We might as well let him dictate a little more. Allow Foster that space to run into, as we've got a free kick. It's knocked out to McDonald. A strike now would be gold dust, but no, he doesn't quite put it into the right areas. And now it's going to be Brentford to bring it away after all this possession, all these chances we've had and squandered. Rodgers goes forward, ball into the middle, Reed with a save. But again, they look dangerous on the break. I said during the Rotherham game, we couldn't afford to lose one game, but we had to get 3 points from today. It was vital that we didn't let sort of another little losing streak continue. But this is some nice possession from us. Cummings finds Foster. He's got the option out wide. This is what we want. K. Morris pushed on a little further. Does well as well. Gets the ball back. McDonald strike on goal from distance. Barry McDonald with a wonderful strike, and it puts Thames back on level terms. And I've been here before. I made a switch in the last game that didn't come off for me, but this is important. You look at the league table. A win today, and it keeps us very much in the conversation. Lose both today, and we start to slip away a little bit. 4 points becomes the gap. We've got a problem. McDonald, though, they're driven hard and low. Love that. Great finish, and the Thames massive in the crowd there. Go wild. It's a kick from Reed. He goes long up towards Miller. Doesn't quite reach him, though. But now we need to see these fullbacks involved a little more. As Miller, with a chance to break his duck, finds Tom George, who hits the crossbar now. Oh, boys. I feel like we're getting a tad unlucky, but I'm going to keep it as it is. I did say at half-time, look, you're playing well. Keep playing the way you're playing. The chances will come. As a ball over the top should be dealt with by Edmund comfortably, and it is now. The question is, can we create a counter-attack? Imagine if we had Altidal right now. Altidal and George, we'd be winning about 5-0. George goes forward with it into a group of about 16 players and loses out, and now Rodgers brings it away. And if he takes on our left-back, we could be in problem city as Graham's found his way through. Oh, my word, a big chance again. And the highlights are just a back and forth right now. Another chance for us, maybe, as McDonald at his feet into Tom George. Big chance for Tom George, and Tom George is a man in form, folks. 2-1, Thames take the lead in a much needed goal from Tom George. Great through ball as well. I think it was McDonald that played it forward for him. We'll look at it again. Starts with a Reed goal kick. He goes long again with it, and it doesn't quite reach. The defender gets there first. It's K. Morris that knocks it down, and it's this pass. One touch out of his feet, and a lovely pass to Tom George, who smashes it into the back of the net. 2-1 Thames, and now we've got to try and sit on this. Great reaction after half-time. You've got to say, 10 minutes after half-time, we're already 2-1 up. And the amount of changes I'm going to make will probably be quite limited unless we score again. If we get a 2-goal advantage, then I'm more inclined to do it as Miller finds George. And if he's not scoring, he might be assisting. Tom George Green with a great save. This is more stressful than it needs to be. Miller with a shot. Edmund puts it in. Well, it was a corner. I mean, how often do you see goals from corners? Not very often. It was knocked down by Miller. An assist for him. Robbie Edmund from the back, up for the corner. Scores the goal. You can see there, McDonald's corner ball knocked in. Miller unmarked, heads down, and Edmund puts it into the back of the net. 3-1, 20 minutes after half-time. The reaction has been superb. And I tell you what, the goals might just keep on coming. I mean, we put him in as an anchorman, Smith, and he seems to be relishing that role so far. He's moved forward a little bit, but it's the fullbacks. For me, it's the positioning of those guys. They have really been able to isolate their wingers a little more, make them a little more defensive, less attacking, and all of a sudden, we're finding more spaces in the middle as well as a result. As you can see, some nice football from us, as we've given it away in stupid circumstances. And it's now, can we win it back? What's our reaction to losing it? As Graham gets in behind, it could be a ball into the centre. I tell you what, the fact he's pulled that across from there is ridiculous. 15 minutes to go, and Brentford are back on level terms, and everything I just said looks redundant all of a sudden. Rodgers plays it forward. It's just the way he keeps it in on the byline. I mean, has it gone out of play? I question it. Definitely go more defensive, but there's 12 minutes to go or so. The ball's knocked forward. Rodgers on the edge of the box. Don't do this to me, game. Oh, he's tried to curl one. There's about 15 minutes to go, and of course, there's this temptation to make a change. The problem, of course, though, is that I'm very nervous to do so. What changes do you make? I mean, the strikers are playing pretty well. There's no need to take them off. Cummings is having a bit of an indifferent game. I think maybe bring on the experience. With Dozelli, likes the role too, so why not? Voice gone. I was shouting at England a lot yesterday. It's fair to say. I was shouting a lot. All right, time is starting to tick down. I just realised we've been attacking for this whole time. We're going to go to a more standard approach. Hopefully, it doesn't invite the pressure. But they're very tired, and that might be playing into it a little bit, as there's one more highlight before the end of the game. Just another goal would be nice, boys. We've got a lot more fitness than they have right now. Keeping the ball nicely. Steve Foster, back to Smith, McDonald, and this four in the middle, all combine to maybe create a chance. Okay, they've given it away. I don't like it. I don't like it. Please just get rid of it. Kick it really far. There we go. Tom George, win that. Doesn't quite, but we do come out with the ball. Miller, slide him through maybe. We go back. The possession we're keeping is fantastic. I wish we'd score a goal. Miller, with this... Miller. Another chance for us. We're piling on the pressure. Smith, back to Morris. And look at the work we're putting in right now. We could have had a goal there. I can't believe it. Kasongo, Foster, I'm conscious there's a minute to go, and our possession is being kept. It's offside. Okay, just see this out now, boys. Come on. Okay, another offside given as well. There's 5 seconds to go, and I think Thames, after having a very stressful 3-2, are going to come out victorious. If he said it was going to be 3-2 at half-time, I might not have thought in our favour, but there we go. Thames turn it around. A really good result. Massive possession stats for us again, and I've clicked continue without doing a team talk, and I don't know how I've done it. I said we couldn't afford to lose both today, and I'll tell you what, I thought we were drawing in that game there. That was not comfortable. Okay, then after that game, if we take a look at the league table, please, you can see Thames in 9th position, sit on 36 points. There's a few teams, though, I mentioned it before, that have got games ahead of us. Leeds being the big one. Like, Leeds are on 40 points, 4 points ahead of us right now, but we've got 2 games in hand. Win both of those, then we'll leapfrog Leeds. So it's all to play for. Next time we shall meet then, I think we'll probably be towards the January period. I'm not sure whereabouts it'll be, but I suspect it'll be the January period. So if you're looking forward to that, do leave a like, and I will see you tomorrow. Leave a comment as well. How do you think we're doing tactically? Is it still a mess? It's probably still a mess. I'll see you again soon. We love with care. Goodbye. Mainly, Smith as an anchorman with the supporting fullbacks, thought. See the 4 goals today. Scored 4 though. That's Thames. Football's coming home. It's coming home. It's coming home. It's coming. Football's coming home. Ooh.